This video is on a step-by-step process on how to design a band t-shirt. So today I decided to recreate this Van Halen t-shirt that I made. So this video will be about just the process of me designing this t-shirt. It's like an old vintage rock tour t-shirt. Pretty simple to do, so let's jump into Photoshop. Well, let's start a new file, new document, just Command N, and make sure it's on inches. I usually do a 13 by 16 in inches, and make sure the resolution is at 300 and not at 72, because 72 is more for like web-based graphics and screen graphics. Just make sure it's on 300 for t-shirt designs. All right, so now I'll make my solid color black as a background. That'll be my body color, so I'll just name it body. Get rid of this background layer, you don't need it anymore. Alright, so screenshot this and bring it into my new file and just put it up in the corner just for like a guide reference. Alright, so for t-shirts, I normally start in Illustrator, and I'll show you. I'll jump into Illustrator and like just kind of have like a guide of like what I want to do and execute. So I'll just pull references, like I'll pull my type and have it on this file, and just to have it in one place. So let's start with the type. The type, I thought Pioneer would be good for this one. ITC Pioneer. You can probably download it for free on Google. Just search it, look it up. So I like to do my text on Illustrator just because it like when you copy and paste it into Photoshop, it'll keep the text like nice and crispy and really high res. So I really do like, a lot of people normally they'll just do their type and just do everything in Photoshop, but I like to bounce back and forth to create my t-shirts. So type, definitely I like to start in Illustrator. So I'll copy, jump into Photoshop, and paste as a smart object always. Hit return. Make it white for now so we can see it. So that's just going into the layer, hitting control, blending options, go to color overlay. Color overlay. Make sure it's white. Just for now. Okay, we got our text. I use the circle shape on this graphic, so like I normally do that in Illustrator too, so I'll just go to Illustrator and go to ellipse tool, make sure it's a stroke, and I'll hit it with maybe a 20 is good. I like to align my stroke inside. So alright, now I'll select the shape, hit Command C, Command F, that'll copy and paste in front, and then take that, hold on Option and Shift and scale it down. Select both of the strokes, and I'll make sure that I'll hit the eye drop and make sure they're both the same size. Maybe just bring it up a little bit. Bring that up like there. That's money right there. All right, copy. Go back into Photoshop. Command V to paste. Make sure it's a smart object. Scale it down a little bit to like there. Bring it back. Make sure it's behind the text. Now for my image, I have it open already, so you can go on Google and try to find a high quality image. This is alright. It's not the best quality, but it'll be good for what I'm doing today. Normally I'll cut out my images on a separate file. Photoshop has a new tool, which is a quick action, is remove background tool, and it works really well. So let's see what we get from that. So I'll hit remove background, and hopefully you get a nice cutout. And we did. Alright, okay. And I like to give it like a red background just to see if, you know, it's easier to find imperfections on your image than any other color, than a white or a black background. So red helps. Alright, so I'll go to my mask, hit the brush tool, hard edge brush will be good for this, and I'll bring back in the guitar a little bit. So I'll just make sure I'm on the mask tool and just brush in to reveal some of the image. So make sure that your swatch is on white, because white will reveal your image from the mask. And then black, if you go back to black, like if I switch it, I hit X is the quick key to switch it to X. I mean, the quick key to switch to black. And what that does is just gets rid of your image. Touch it up a little bit. So I'll go back and forth just to get a nice clean cut. And I think this looks good for now. You know, we could sit here and do this all day, but for this tutorial, it should be good. So I'll take this image and go to filter and convert to smart filter. Hit OK. Drag it into my original file. Scale it up. That looks good. I mean, granted, it's not going to be exactly the same thing since I'm recreating this, and I might feel different about certain things, so it might look a little different, but the steps are pretty much the same. Alright, so I'll go to my image, make sure it's a smart filter. It is. I'll go to camera, raw filter, start messing with the presets. I'm going for a vintage look, so if I hit this shape right here, this tool right here, this will come up, and I know they have vintage presets, so they have this vintage instant, which looks good, but I think warm and moody is what I used before, and I thought that was pretty legit, so I hit warm and moody. I'll go to the curve, give it a cross process. That'll give it like this old like feeling, which is dope. And then on the sharpening, I'll give it a medium. Hit OK. Boom, and we got this. I think that looks dope. That looks cool. Alright, so now for the backdrop. I found a backdrop on pexels.com, which is a royalty-free stock image site. And I'll just take that and drag it into my master file. Make sure I place it correctly. Center it right there. Let's scale it up. Hit return. I'll go to the ellipse tool. Go ellipse tool, scale it up. Holding shift to stay proportioned. Make sure it's on that layer. Give it a mask. Take this layer and bring it to the back. Just drag it to the back. Make sure it's behind the image. And now just scale it down. Make sure it's centered. I think that looks good for now. Yep. And then I'll do the same thing. Like I'll make sure it's a smart filter. Then I'll go back to camera raw filter. And then I'll just go to the presets here. And I think the last time I picked cool shadows and warm highlights, which is gives it a nice little effect here. Then I'll go heavy on the sharpening, and strong S curve will be good. Hit OK. Boom, that looks good. You see how like this is off? Like this needs to be more centered. So since it's a smart object, I'll double click on it, and now I'll go to the mask and I will unlink it, and this will give you the opportunity to actually move your image within the mask. Just make sure, just make sure you're on the image side, not the mask side. So I'll take my image and drag it over a little bit to like right about there, which is where I want it. Make sure I link it back. Command S, save. X out and go back. Boom. There you go. So that's looking about right. And a fast way to switch in between layers is you take your mouse or your Wacom pen and you hover over what you want selected, hold Control, click on it. The first layer that will come up is normally the one that you're hovering over, so you click on that and it'll automatically select it on your layers panel. So like if I wanted this background to be selected, I'll hover over it, hold Control, click on it, layer 2, and it'll take me right to that layer. So now to go back to the type layer, hover over the type, hit Control, vector, there you go. So that's a fast way of just clicking back and forth through layers. Hit return, that looks about right. So now I'll double click on this, it'll take me back into Illustrator because it's a smart object. So, and then to give it that sheer look, I'll just go to my toolbar and go to, normally on default it's on rotate tool, so you just hover over rotate tool, you hold Control, click on it, go to the shear tool, give it a nice shear, just click and drag it, hit save, exit out the smart object, there you go. So just make sure that's, so for the type, I had already created a graphic style that I used on another project and I thought it would work great on this one, so I'll open that and then I'll take that out and I'll drag it into my original file I'm working on. And this graphic style I want to use, all I have to do is just hit this little tab, click on the effects, just hover over the effects, hold Option and drag it down to the type that you want that style to be applied to, and it'll automatically copy every setting on that. Now I don't need this layer since I've already used it. Drag it into the trash. There you go. That's looking good. So now for the border, make sure I'm on that layer. And I think I used the preset on this also, and which was from the Fuller Mo preset. If you don't know, Fuller Mo got the dopest presets out and available now, so you go check them out. I'll leave a link, you can go check them out. But what I did is just I go over this layer and hit Control, tap on it, go to blending options, go to your styles, and I have it here. And I think I might have used this one right here. Let me see. Yep. You might have to go back and like, you know, adjust certain things. Like I brought the glow down a little bit, and I think I bumped up the stroke a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Let me give it a 20. Or maybe a 25. Yeah, 25 look good. And the glow, maybe just go up a little bit more on the glow. On the size. Yeah, that looks good. Hit OK. Now we cooking. Y'all. Alright. There's a couple things I have to do, but we're getting there. So, go back to this backdrop here. I feel like I have to bring it down a little bit more. So that's what I'll do. And then I did some stuff here. I think I gave it like a cloud effect. All right. So I have these cloud brushes that I used on this that I downloaded online. Not sure where. I'm pretty sure if you go to Google and type in Photoshop cloud brushes or something, it'll come up. And I think I got them for free, so I'll just give it a new layer over where I want the clouds to be. And that's here, hitting this button right here. And now I'll go to my brushes. Go to the cloud brushes that I have. Give it a couple clouds right there. That looks good. Alright, see what else I did. Alright. So I'll just clip the clouds into this drop layer right here. So that's just me going in between these two layers, hitting Option, and it'll just clip right into it. And that's good. All right, now we cooking. We're cooking. Let me center this a little bit better. What I did, I gave it like a feather. So I'll just go back into that smart object and then make sure I'm on my mask side. Go to properties, and I'll just go to feather and bring it up a little bit. I mean, actually a lot of it. Yeah, that's about right. That looks good. Hit save. And there you have a nice little feather there. Alright. Maybe I want to scale it down a little bit more. Right there. I had these hard like blue tints over here. I don't know if I maybe went in and brushed it in more. I think I did. So that's easy. I'll just create a new layer. Make sure I have a soft edge brush like that. So I'll just brush it in and make that a clipping mask. There you go. I think that's way better. Alright, and I added some lightning bolts. So let me just give it some lightning effects here. Maybe like that. I don't know. Here. Yeah, that looks right. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. I think I added a layer right behind them. So let's do that. And use the brush tool. I use the soft brush. And I kind of just brushed around them. Yeah, I mean it's not gonna be the same, but it's there. Maybe more with maybe go back to that layer with the white brush and just give it more like a harder brush. I mean that's okay right there. That looks good. That's all right for now. All right, then I'll just click, see how like this border is like, you can like, since there's no fill on my type, what I did, I just make sure I'm on that border layer. Here, make sure it's selected. Make it a mask. Click on the mask. So black conceals and white reveals. Make sure it's on a black swatch. Go back to your brush. Make sure it's a hard edge brush. And you start brushing it out a little bit. Alright, that looks good. I might have to give him a mask and then brush him off a little bit like that. There we go. That looks money right there. I don't know, I haven't cut off. Yeah, I did. I mean, it looks alright for now. It's not exactly the same, but I could spend more time and like, you know, be here all day with this, but I'm not. Hope you got something from this video. Normally with my graphics at the end, I like to mess around with the I like to mess around with the color lookup, which is just here. Drag down, color lookup. Then I'll go and mess with the presets. And I think I gave this, like, you get all type of crazy effects with this. You know, it's almost like a finisher, like a topper, like the sprinkles on ice creams. I think I used this one. Yep. We can like add like some other things like vibrance and stuff like that, just to bring out the color a little bit. Saturation. I think that's good. What y'all think? It's okay. We good with that. So let's go back to the t-shirt CAD. I pulled already, have it ready and set. So I'll just, what I do is just take a screenshot of what I did, just for CAD purposes. What I did, paste it, mess with the blending modes. I think it was lighter color I used. And then scale it up a little bit. I think that looks pretty darn good. If you ask me. I mean, what y'all think? What y'all think about this? Because I think it came out pretty good. Alright. That's it. Thank you.